Hey y'all, welcome to Pleiadian Point of View. I'm Peyton with Peyton Energetics, and I'm a Pleiadian channel and starseed coach. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a really important topic, and that is fear, or more specifically, how to use fear as one of your best tools. But before we jump into talking about this very important topic, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. Now, one of the issues that we all struggle with just by living on this planet is the energy of fear. The Pleiadians like to sometimes describe Earth as the planet of fear. It is pumped out at us 24 hours a day from every corner of our world. It's really hard to do anything without triggering the energy of fear. And our society does everything it possibly can to put us in even more fear. So this is an energy we are familiar with. Now, when we are feeling a lot of fear energy, when we have a lot of it that seems to be very in our face, when we are seeing a lot in the world around us that is putting us in fear, we have a really important opportunity. Because when we use fear the way it was intended, it can help us make huge jumps in our consciousness. So what are the P's talking about when they say this, that fear can be a way to increase our consciousness? Well, when we are in a state of fear, we're in a state of lower vibration. But what is actually going on when we're experiencing fear energy is we are resisting and judging our own energy. Because as we know, as the P's have told us countless times, everything in our reality is our energy. So when there is something in our reality that is being reflected to us, might be a news story, it might be something that happens in our personal life, that's putting us in fear, we are judging our own energy. Because again, everything is our energy. So where we go sideways in dealing with fear as humans is we get into the ego mind. Our nervous system gets inflamed, our body starts to overreact, and we start to spin out in worst case scenario thinking. This is where the ego shines. The ego loves it when we're in fear. It is in business. It starts to tell us all the horrible things that can happen and probably will. It starts to tell us all the things that are going to get even worse. All the other things we hadn't even thought of that will probably go wrong too, right? This is where the negative mind chatter can run away with us. And when we get stuck in this stage of the process where we're just getting intensively worried, more and more scared, more and more tense in the physical body, we're not using fear the way it was intended to be used. When we get stuck in the ego mind, we just draw more and more fear energy into our energy field. And then as we are holding that energy in our energy field, if we are avoiding it and suppressing it, which we tend to do naturally as humans, it gets solidified in our energy field, like little frozen meatballs of fear energy, which means it is constantly manifesting. So this is how we start to create more and more fearful experiences in our life. It's because we're feeling the energy of fear and we're not processing it. We're not taking advantage of what the fear energy was trying to show us. So how can we use fear in a way that's beneficial? Because so many people in the world are in overwhelming fear right now. So if you want to use fear in a beneficial way, one of the best things you can do when something gets you triggered, and looking at what's going on in the world does it for most people. Maybe there are things in your life or the life of your family and friends that are putting you in fear now. One of the ways that you can use fear the way it was intended is to just stop for a moment when you notice you've gotten triggered, and just take a moment and let yourself actually sit with the energy of the fear. This is such a scary feeling for most of us that we will do anything to avoid looking at it dead on. We push it away, we distract ourselves, or we let the mental ponies run away with us, spinning stories, taking us down rabbit holes. But one of the ways to use fear in a positive way is is just to catch yourself as soon as you notice that something has triggered fear in you, and let yourself sit with the energy just for about a minute. All you have to do is just sit there and acknowledge, wow, I am really feeling fear right now. It doesn't have to go anywhere beyond that. And you only want to sit with the feeling for a minute. If you sit longer than that, the mind is going to probably run away with you. But if you can just sit and acknowledge that fear energy is coming up for you, just let yourself feel into that energy as a sensation. One way to do this, just notice, how does it feel in the body? Where is it sitting in your body? Is it moving around or is it stationary? Is it kind of sharp or is it kind of feel dull? If you just explore it as a sensation, you are giving yourself the opportunity to release the energy because you're willing to look at it. You're sitting with it. You're owning it. You're acknowledging it as part of yourself. And that's all we have to do to release the energy of fear, is be willing to sit with it. So then the second step, after you have allowed yourself to sit with it, to do that very important step of owning it, acknowledging it as you, then all we have to do is pull that thing that we are fearful of, whatever the story is that got you all fired up, pull it into your heart. Because something really important happens as you pull something into your heart. You integrate the energy. You break down the negative imprinting on that energy, the fear, essentially. So as you bring that thing into your heart, because what is happening is you are bringing back to you energy you've been rejecting. So whenever we are in fear of something, when we are judging something, making it wrong or bad or scary, we're rejecting a part of ourselves. But as we bring that thing, whatever the trigger was, into our heart, we reverse the process. And what happens is, rather than freezing that energy in your energy field, which is what will happen if we're not willing to sit with the energy and acknowledge it, if we don't own it, be willing to feel it, we freeze it in our energy field. But when you bring it into your heart, you sit with it for about a minute and just let yourself feel the anger. That's all you have to do to dissolve the energy. So when you start to pull all these things that you are afraid of into your heart, be willing to look at them, sit with them just for a minute. You don't have to go crazy and roll around in it all day. And then bring it into your heart. You start to do what's known as harvesting the energy. What that means is you take energy that you were blocking, your soul energy that you were rejecting, and you reclaim it as part of you. As you do that, you give yourself so much more energy to create and manifest. And it's clean energy. It's not energy that's coated in fear because you've released the fear coding. So this is one of the ways that we can work with our fear energy so that we are reducing it every time it comes up instead of making it worse. Because y'all, as the P's have been saying, if you are a starseed who is very much wanting to move into fifth dimensional energies, fear cannot go with us. So if we are holding a lot of fear energy in our field, and most humans are, it's going to block our ascension progress. We are going to be held back on slower timelines because that energy cannot go with us. So this is how we get around that. We integrate the energy. We reclaim it and we purify it. We turn it back into love. That's what happens when you pull something into your heart. So very, very important, because this is an energy as ascending beings we've got to get a handle on, because it will hold us back. And most of us, we're done with the 3D game, right? We're ready to move on. Can't do that if we're holding a lot of fear in our energy field. So this is how we work with that, how we break down that energy and use the fear constructively. So that is what the P's wanted to share with you in today's video. Very, very important stuff. Because this fear energy, if we are holding on to it and not dealing with it, it is an anchor to 3D. It is not a vibrational match to the fifth dimensional grid, which means it will block us from the fifth dimensional grid, and only you can do something about it. So very important stuff from the Pleiadians today. I hope this helps y'all, especially if you are one of the many who's feeling a lot of fear right now. This is how we deal with that, how we break it down, neutralize it, and turn it into energy that is serving us. It has really been transformational for me, having this little trick from the Pleiadians to make better use of our fear. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.